As an introverted entrepreneur or creator, sharing your work or process in public can be challenging. Many of us tend to hunker down and focus on our products or projects, often to the exclusion of building an audience or engaging with potential customers or clients. But sharing your work and your process in public has many benefits that can significantly impact the success of your business or your creative venture. It can help build credibility and trust with your audience, gather you valuable feedback and insights, and even lead to new opportunities and potential collaborations. If you struggle with sharing your work and process in public, here are a few tips that might help. I consider myself to be an introvert. I've been reclusive and inward-focused all of my life, but this might not be immediately apparent when you see me and my work on Twitter or YouTube. In fact, you might think that I'm quite outgoing and extroverted as a person, basking in public conversations and then playfully interacting with thousands of others. Well, it wasn't always like that, and it certainly does not look like this all the time. I recognize that my introversion is strongest when I'm forced into social situations and interactions that are centered on topics that I just don't care about. Send me to a party, and I'll probably be uncomfortable, but throw me into a JavaScript meetup, and I'll happily spend 4 hours talking to my fellow nerds. Once I realized that, I figured out how to apply this to my public work as an entrepreneur. I don't need to be an extrovert at all to build in public. I just need to surround myself with my fellow nerds, other entrepreneurs, the kind of people that care about the same things that I care about, the people who read the same books, who listen to the same podcasts, and think about similar problems. In short, I reframed my audience from this nebulous mass of strangers into a relatable group of my fellow business builders. And this was all internal. Nothing changed about the people that I wanted to or did already serve, but making it about connecting with like-minded founders who are on the same journey as I was, as well as prospective customers and clients who cared about the same things that mattered to me, that made a difference. And this made it so much easier to ignore all the vanity metrics that people tend to focus on. It's not about how many connections you have. It's about the depth of the connections that you make and the impact you have on others, every single one of them. If you have something to share, others' lives will be better if you make them aware of it. With that reframe, in my mind, it just becomes so much more of a public service than this anxiety-inducing act. In the context of building in public, this means, first and foremost, sharing content that is relevant and valuable to your audience rather than just promoting your products or services. It's about helping. And don't get me wrong, talking about your work is always self-promotion, but it doesn't have to be selfish. That's the difference. You can practice selfless self-promotion. If you focus on building relationships and connections with your audience of fellow nerds, rather than just trying to sell them something, you will naturally have to give them something useful and meaningful without asking for something in return. Eventual reciprocity will happen. Humans can only take so much until they feel they have to give back. And hey, if being kind and helpful makes people want to support and pay you, that's awesome. Most people don't have to act to be kind and empathetic, particularly not around your fellow niche interest nerds. You're just gonna be that. We build trust in our communities by being helpful, courteous, and supportive. And fortunately, this doesn't have to happen all at once. In fact, it can't happen overnight. Trust is slowly built and can be quickly lost. So if you, ever the introvert, turn the extroversion crank to 11 from one day to another, people will wonder just how authentic you and your work truly are. Start small and gradually increase the amount of sharing that you do. If the thought of sharing your work and process on social media or your blog feels overwhelming, well then start by sharing just a few times a week and gradually increase the frequency of that as you become more comfortable. The great thing about starting out like this is that barely anyone will notice your beginner mistakes because there aren't too many people watching. The few people who do notice that will understand that you're just starting, and they might even help you get better at it because fellow nerds, they want to support you. Over time, you'll feel like a fish in water. And after all, once you write your 985th tweet, you'll know what works and what doesn't. But that takes some experimentation to get to that point, and that takes time. And the founder's journey takes quite some time in the first place. Small bouts of progress or tiny mistakes, they're made every day. And that gives you ample opportunity to share small chunks instead of having to deliver massive narratives like 4,000-word blog posts. Doesn't need to happen. Share the behind-the-scenes glimpses and insights into your in-the-weeds work and the process you use for that. Rather than only sharing the finished product, consider sharing some of the behind-the-scenes aspects here. Talk about how you think about the choices that lay before you and what decisions you ended up making and which ones you didn't. This can give the audience a glimpse into how you create and then help build trust and engagement with you. People love to follow an experiment from inception through implementation to analysis. It's exciting to see other people face challenges head on. Share your successes and wins and any challenges and obstacles that you face. Not only does this cause people to invest their attention, but you'll also find that they're more than happy to help you with actual solutions and perspectives right when you need them. You couldn't wish for faster feedback cycles than the ones that you get by publicly sharing your thought process. But not all things need your actual real-time social media involvement. Some things can happen while you sleep or while you focus on work that requires you to be in the zone. Use social media scheduling tools to plan and schedule your posts in advance. Platforms such as Hypefury and TweetHunter and Typefully offer tools that allow you to plan and schedule your posts in advance. This can take some of the pressure off and make it easier to share your work and process consistently. It's like having a digital messenger for your tweets, somebody who messages them for you. You orchestrate your tweets safely from the confines of your happy place, and the scheduling tool takes over the anxiety-inducing task of actually sending the messages to your social feeds. Even as a builder in public, you won't share time-critical things all the time. You probably shouldn't do that at all. No matter if it's ups or downs that you might want to share, give them some time to breathe. For wins, just wait a bit to see if it's overly optimistic to share it, and for mistakes, it's generally a good idea to work through them, fix the problem at hand, and then talk about them. Writing a reflective report on your entrepreneurial efforts and scheduling it to be sent the day after, that will clear your mind of it the same way that journaling helps us to extract nagging thoughts and push them onto the paper and out of sight, for example. So wait a little bit. And in case your biggest issue in all of this is coming up with interesting things to share in the first place, there's a way around that too. Especially when you're starting out, you do not need to do much sharing at all, or at least not through standalone content. Engage with your audience and respond to their tweets, their comments and questions. I call this the audience audition method. Finding like-minded people by chatting with them in the conversation started by someone else in the community. Over time, these peers of yours will trickle into your own following, and you can start talking about your work in a way that feels way more natural than like posting it and forcing it on them. After all, you already know the people you're talking to, and they know you. When you share your work in progress, engage with your audience and respond to any comments or questions they may have. This can help build a sense of community around it and around you and provide valuable feedback and insights. Again, this builds more trust than appealing to authority or showing just the highlight reels of your business adventure. So, how then do you keep up this rhythm of posting and sharing and engaging? To help you stay on track and ensure you are consistently sharing your work and the process behind it, consider setting specific goals for the amount of sharing you want to do each week or month. This can help just to hold you accountable and can also help you track your progress throughout the week or month. I personally have a Notion-based checklist for the days of the week and what I want to share. 2 tweets here and half an hour of focused engagement there. It's good to have a structure to write, schedule, and engage, even when you're not feeling like doing it. Accountability is a big deal for doing this whole public performance. And yes, it is a performance. It's somewhat performative at least. Staying consistent is much easier if you know that people out there opted into receiving regular updates from you. Twitter followers are one thing, but nothing says, I want to read your thoughts as much as a newsletter subscriber. So consider turning your all over the place Twitter content into a more streamlined weekly newsletter. For that, create a system for organizing and storing your content so it's easy to access and share. As a Notion fan, I have a free-for-all page where I just throw ideas, and then a calendar view where I assign days to the more fleshed out pieces of content. It's good to have this list of ideas to riff on when you're looking for a new thing to talk about. And equally important is the page where you throw inspirational content by other creators. And other creators aren't just convenient sources of ready-to-imitate content, right? Get inspired. You can collaborate with creators or with businesses and engage with each other's work too. And this is particularly enjoyable when you're both at the same stage or pursuing the same goals. The Software Social podcast by Michelle Hansen and Colleen Schnettler is a glowing example of two founders who have found each other for support, encouragement, and collaborative learning and teaching, and just sharing their journey with each other and anyone who will listen to the podcast. It's a great way to keep yourself accountable, because for a weekly show or any kind of weekly periodical, you'll have to both show up every week and have something worth talking about and leave public traces of your ambition and learning journey. And it's nice to build a real friendship along the way. If this is too much for you, too direct, look into founder communities where people regularly share their updates, like the Ramen Club or just Indie Hackers, the community forums. By taking these steps and making sharing your work and your process a priority in your entrepreneurial life, you can build an interested audience on Twitter and other social media platforms, which can significantly impact and will significantly impact the success of your business or creative venture. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and start sharing your work and process in public today. As an introverted entrepreneur or creator, sharing your work and process in public can be a daunting prospect. I understand that. It's natural to feel scared or unsure about putting yourself out there, especially if you're not used to it. But by taking these small steps and making sharing a priority, a business decision too, you can build an interested audience on platforms like Twitter that can have this huge impact on the success of your business or creative venture down the line. Ultimately, sharing your work can be a rewarding and fulfilling experience, even for introverts. Really depends on who you're sharing it with, right? So don't be afraid to step out of this comfort zone and start sharing today. You might be surprised by the benefits it will bring to your business.